From deep within the crevices of a genius's brain emerges the story of a wicked awesome New England snowplower in the 21st century. Once upon a time in the magical land of New England, in the state of New Hampshire, there was a town called Brookline. Now in this town, there was a man named Nick Johnson. He was a snowplower. Well, more of a hero really, because in the town of Brookline, it snowed a lot, very deep, during the seasons of New England, which of course were sorta winter, really winter, still winter, and winter. One day, Nick was plowing down by Lake Botanipo, listening to Maddie in the morning, of course. All of a sudden, he heard a clunk, and his car stopped moving. And he saw that he hit a birch tree. Now, being part Cherokee, he had to go and apologize to the birch tree. So he got out into the thin, crisp air, his boots crunching against the freshly laid snow. Then he saw something weird. A $20 bill just lying there on the snow. By Robert Frost. I've never seen a... he started to say, but he never finished, because the tree started to rumble. And then $20 bills started falling from the tree by the hundreds. What a marvel, a spectacle, a miracle! And being a kind-hearted man, he went to donate all of the money to charity and proceeded to go home and tell his wife about the wondrous happening. And then the evil, cold-hearted Jacob Smith, the covered bridge keeper, emerged from his bridge after he witnessed the event. Oh, he got money by hitting that tree. Maybe if I go up and hit it, I can get the money, he said. And so he kicked the tree, but all that fell out were acorns that clonked him on the head, and squirrels that only cross the road when cars go right in front of them. Jacob Smith got so angry that he chopped up the tree and threw the pieces into Lake Botanipo. Later in the season, Nick Johnson wanted to go ice fishing, so he grabbed his snowmobile and drove across the lake, drilled his hole, and started fishing. Almost immediately, his line caught something. What was it? He pulled it up and found out that it was an oyster. Oyster. What a strange catch, thought he. He pried the oyster open, and he found a pearl worth millions. He continued fishing for the rest of the day, and found so many pearls that he could feed the world. Of course he donated these pearls to charity because he's such a kind-hearted man. Yup, you guessed it. The pearled oysters got there because the fragments that Jacob Smith threw into Lake Botanipo enchanted it and its inhabitants. Jacob Smith witnessed this event. He smiled his cruel, crooked smile. He wanted the pearl, the riches. So he stole away to Nick Johnson's fishing hole, and he fished for hours and hours on end. When he finally got that oyster, he pried it open with all his heart and found a Masshole's driver's license. Blah! Who wants this garbage? Blah! After everything calmed down, Nick Johnson found himself driving along Old Milford Road in his snowplow while listening to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Then all of a sudden, there's a moose right in the middle of the road. What's he gonna do? He can't swerve because there are trees on each side of the road. He just goes straight forward, hoping for the best. Oh my god, he hits the moose, and the moose crumples, and he's safe. But the moose is not. He's injured. Being part Cherokee, Nick has to tend to it and care for it, heal it back to health. And so he healed that moose just in time for Christmas Eve. And for his kind efforts, Santa Claus came straight down from the North Pole to give Nick presents early. Yay! The cruel, evil, Cold-hearted Jacob Smith saw all of this. He saw Nick hit the moose. He saw Nick heal the moose. He saw Nick get presents from Santa early. I want presents from Santa early too. And so he retreated back to his covered bridge, and he made a plan. He planned to hit a moose with his motorcycle, then heal it back to health with his super steroids, and so he could get presents from Santa early. And so he did just that. Well, the first part, actually. The rest didn't really happen, because when he ran into the moose with his motorcycle, the moose kind of crushed his legs. And in the hospital, Santa gave him coal early. Well, I've been evil this whole time. I kicked the birch tree and threw it in the lake. I stole Nick's fishing spot, and I hit the moose. Ho, ho, ho! It's never too late to turn yourself around, Jacob. You can always be the good guy. You're right, Santa. I'm gonna turn myself around. I'm gonna be good now, and I'm gonna make everything up to Nick. And so he did just that. Him and Nick lived in harmony for the rest of their lives, and they helped the town and did good by plowing the roads together. And they lived happily
ever after.
He told us that.
Let's have a round of applause for my little brother's amazing guest performance.